That's not the scenario in your life right now, is it?
And I'm saying that it's wrong.
So what you're doing right now is wrong.
What I'm doing right now.
By your own moral standard, what you're doing right now is wrong.
Yes.
So would you change?
Yes.
Would you like a card?
but no.
Okay. We'll just leave that there. Thank you. Give us a hug. What's that, bro?
Yeah, I have a degree in farm management. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a degree in farm management, do you?
I don't work here.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, so you're against vegan lifestyle, are you?
I think it's unsustainable. I won't say against it, because I think when you're against something, you're a bit of a fascist.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, just don't
So why is it unsustainable? You know we have to feed more.
You have to use.
Wait, 1 sec.
Would you like to speak
Let
all
me
the
speak
time,
to-
because I find
yeah.
that a bit intimidating.
Yeah, let me speak to him, bro.
Okay?
Yeah, so there's a 16-to-1 ratio for plants to meat, yeah? So we have to
Depends
feed
on
more.
the land you're on, depends on the temperate climate,
Yeah.
depends on everything you're doing to make it in the numbers you need it. And
Yeah.
to make it in the numbers you need it, because of large populations,
Yeah.
it can't be done that way.
So
Well, it can be
they're
done that way.
feeding
They're
grain.
something
They're
else.
feeding grain to cattle and livestock, yeah?
Not all grain, no.
Well, they are feeding grain to most cattle and livestock, yeah?
They feed to some cattle and livestock.
Well, 99% of animals are factory farmed, yeah? On Earth.
I'd say probably you're right there.
Yeah. So let me speak to him for a sec.
Yeah.
So 99% of animals are factory farmed, right?
I'll go with that, yeah.
Yeah. So they're feeding them grain, okay?
No,
and that.
not in all cases.
Okay. Well, what else are they feeding them?
They're feeding them alfalfa. They're
Okay.
feeding them.
They're feeding them plants, basically.
Yes.
So those plants need to be watered, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much water do those plants need? Okay, over the course of the plant's life,
Yeah.
and then we're feeding all those plants to the animal over the course of the animal's life.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that sustainable for the Earth?
Well, obviously it's sustainable because it's happening, and the environments are in. They're sustainable and stable.
Okay.
Now, if you turn it all over the
Okay,
other way,
yeah.
you've got to kill the insects. You've got to kill the animals that are eating the crops, if you like.
Okay.
How are you going to make that?
But brother,
In line.
if we just ate the plants, the crops, okay, we're eating a lot less plants and crops than we have to feed all those plants and crops to grow animals and eat the animals.
No, it
But,
can't
but
be that way.
Are we eating less plants if we just eat the plants directly, or if we're feeding tons and tons of grain and plants and water?
The plants aren't being forced, which you would have to do with veganism. You can't do it.
Brother, if everyone ate plants, we'd be growing a lot less plants than we have to feed animals too, bro. But listen, over the course of an animal's life,
temperate climates,
Yeah.
you're forced growing.
forced growing.
Yeah, you're forced growing. You're having to put more water in there, irrigation. You're going to have to put more chemicals in place into the ground. That leaches into the water. It just ain't going to work that way.
We've got 70 billion land animals on Earth right now, okay?
Well,
70
where'd you get
billion.
that from?
70 billion,
Where'd you
that's
get that from?
the UN statistics.
On
For land animals, that farmed animals, okay, that we're consuming.
the UN.
Yeah.
I've never been aware.
56
the
to
UN
70,
producing
56 to 70 billion, okay?
that. That's
now,
if I accept your figures, yeah.
okay, well you can do your own research on
Yeah,
that,
of
bro.
course, that's what I do.
It's up there, okay, but so those animals need food and water, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if we didn't have animal
So now
agriculture,
you're saying these sentient beings that need food and water
Okay.
shouldn't be there.
why do they exist?
Shouldn't be there. Is
But
that what you're saying?
why do they exist, bro?
You're saying they shouldn't be there then?
No, they shouldn't, because we're breeding them into
Okay.
existence.
So,
we're forcibly breeding them
On
into.
one hand, you come in here to protest that animals being killed, but you want a wholesale decimation.
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah, I don't want animal agriculture to exist because we're forcibly breeding them into existence. Yeah.
So don't you think
Is it-
it's a little bit hypocritical to come here?
No.
These people are killing animals. They're
Exactly.
doing what you want to do.
Why are they killing them?
They're doing them what you want to do.
I don't want animals to be murdered. I don't want them to be forcibly bred into
So what will happen
existence.
to them?
What will happen to them?
Yeah, what will happen to the animals that exist now?
we would stop breeding them into existence, bro.
And what would you do with them?
What would we do to them? We'd stop breeding them into existence.
So you put them on land and let them die on the land
No, bro.
in huge amounts.
The ones that are
What would you
here,
do with
what do do you think that we're all going to go vegan overnight? The whole world,
Oh, never mind.
one
Yeah,
swoop,
it's not the camera up.
in one swoop?
Well, what's
Do you think we're all gonna go
what's your
vegan?
alternative?
Do you think we're
Are
all gonna
have
be-
half and half and caution? to
What's
the
your name, bro?
causes? Me?
What's your name?
No, I don't do that on
Okay.
cameras.
Well, do you think we're all going to go vegan overnight?
You'd like us to.
We won't. We won't. Okay. What's going to
You'll
happen?
never go vegan.
What's going to
What's the
happen, my
difference?
friend, is we're going to have a slow, gradual phase out of these industries.
What
Yeah.
do you do with these animals?
The animals that are left over after the whole world goes vegan, there'll probably only be a few.
Who looks after the
Sanctuaries.
large amount of sanctuaries?
Do you think there's going to be 70 billion? Do you think there's going to be 70 billion when we stop breeding them into existence? There's going to be a gradual phase out. That's how it's going to work.
The phase out. Who's going to look after them in the phase out?
The phase out.
Yeah.
People are still going to be eating them. People are still going to be
eating them.
because not the
At
world
that
is.
point,
Do you
you're
understand that the
tracking
world's not going to go vegan overnight? You understand that, right?
understand
It's going to be
vegan
gradual.
at all.
So people are still going to be eating animals as it phases out, right?
I don't.
The reason there's
think
70
we're
billion
getting-
land animals is because we're breeding them into existence. We're forcibly breeding them.
Right, so your idea
Because
is
of
to bring
these
in-
people.
Your idea is to bring in two systems. You're phasing one out as you're bringing another one in.
What's the other one? Eating plants.
Eating plants or
The
eating
plant
animals.
foods already
No, you
exist.
misunderstand what I'm saying. If you listen a second,
Yeah.
if you've got the animal farming,
Yeah.
and you have the vegan farming, if you like.
Yeah.
So as one's going out, the other one's coming in. You're phasing one out. You're bringing another
We've
one
got
in.
enough plant foods now. We've got enough plant agriculture now. Yes, we do. We're already eating plants with your meat, aren't you?
Oh, now and again.
You eating plants with your meat, or you just eat meat?
I like a lot of meat.
You eat your meat by itself.
I love meat.
So you've got a vested interest in these industries, don't you?
I won't say a vested interest, but
Well, you
I'm
do.
certainly a consumer of it.
You're a consumer of meat. Okay.
sure.
So would you consume dog meat?
I have done in Thailand.
So you would.
Yeah.
So you don't think animals have moral value?
Moral value?
Yeah.
How do you define moral value?
Well, a sentient being that experiences pain and suffering and wants to live.
Well, would you give the same
Moral value.
argument to a sentient being that eats an animal in Africa?
Are you a lion? Are you?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell a lion is wrong?
Well, a lion doesn't have moral agency, do they? They can't be held
They're not
accountable.
moral agency, but they're a sentient being. So if you're applying to all sentient beings, you cannot eat meat. You must say to the same to
No.
predators, have they got to go as well?
I think sentient beings have moral value. I didn't say sentient beings cannot eat meat in a survival situation like a
So
lion.
This moral value, is a lion's moral value not high enough to justify eating meat in Africa?
This is about us causing pain and suffering
No,
to
you're saying
innocent
the world's
beings.
You're saying the world's going into veganism.
The world will. The world will.
It can't.
Because people care about animals. Not everyone's like you and don't care about animals.
Oh, I do care about animals.
You care about animals,
Yeah, absolutely.
but you condemn them to a slaughterhouse when you eat them.
Let's look. Everyone slates say hunters.
You care about animals,
Can I
dude.
finish
Do you
what
care
I'm
about
saying?
these animals?
Can I say what I was saying?
Yeah, I'll let you go. Yeah,
Thank
for
you very
sure.
much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Right. You get hunters, and I would imagine that you claim, say, a hunter is somebody that doesn't care about animals and slaughters them wholesale. Would that be correct to say?
I would say a hunter takes animals' lives against their will when it's unnecessary,
Well,
yeah.
I think all lives are taken against the will, aren't they? Unless you go.
All lives are taken against their will.
Yeah. Would you not agree with that?
Death is a natural part of life, yeah? Murder is not a natural part of life.
Anything that's hunted, raised to be eaten, is taken against its will.
These sentient beings are raised to be eaten. That doesn't change the fact that it's immoral to
We're not
take their
talking
life.
about all sentient beings now. We're talking about.
No, I'm talking about any sentient being that their life is taken for an unnecessary reason is immoral. Okay, because we don't need to eat meat biologically to survive. Okay,
That's a
we are living
choice.
proof of
That's
that.
a lifestyle choice.
So is murder and rape. That's a lifestyle choice too, but there's a
No, it's
victim
not a
involved.
crime.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Murder and rape is a crime.
No,
Killing
it's
animals-
Not a crime. Killing animals.
Neither was slavery back in the past, but it was immoral because they were sentient beings who had moral value.
So now we're talking about a different time.
In this time here, hey bro, in this time here, this type of animal slavery and abuse is legal. That doesn't mean that those sentient beings
Animal
have no moral
slavery.
value.
Animal slavery.
Well, they're not free, are they?
Well, they're not free, but they're living in an environment where
They're not free, you would
they're not
agree.
asked to do anything.
Brother.
They're given a moral imperative, you will.
They're
do
here
this.
for you. Do you think animals here to serve you?
Do you?
No, I don't believe they are. I think they exist
They
for their
don't
own
serve
reason.
anybody, do they?
Yeah, they are. They
Unless you
serve.
ride a horse, I suppose that's.
Your-
Do you agree with riding a horse?
Your stomach is filled with the corpses of these innocent beings.
Yes.
They
yes.
didn't want to die,
Your body-
and you are eating them.
Your body is also tuned to be able to eat meat. So,
Just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
well, true. That's again one down to choice. isn't it?
Heart disease and cancer are killing people. Do you know
Yes,
what heart
and
disease?
processed- Yeah, processed foods. I would really agree with you there.
Cholesterol builds up in your arteries. You know where cholesterol
Not
comes
just
from?
from eating meat.
Where does cholesterol come from?
Cholesterol comes from the fats that you make in your body according to what you eat.
You can create your own cholesterol.
Yes,
All
that's
animals
what I
do.
just said to you.
All animals do.
Yeah.
So it's in animal flesh.
Yeah,
So you're not going to die from your own cholesterol in your body that you create.
of course not.
You die from eating dietary cholesterol from animals.
You die from not eating a balanced diet.
Cholesterol can never be a balanced diet. It builds up in your arteries.
Cholesterol can build up in your arteries, but it has
Okay.
other uses as well.
You say you care about animals, okay?
I care about those, yeah.
Okay, so do you care what happens to them in there when they get stabbed in the throat?
Stabbed in the, I've never seen them stabbed in the throat.
So they get stunned, okay, and then they get hung up, and then they get stabbed in the artery to drain them of their blood, okay?
So would you say that they feel in pain at that point?
Do you think electrically stunned would and a stab in your throat would,
Electric sting, to be fair.
okay, would it cause you harm?
Well, it's an instantaneous flash, isn't
Would
it?
it cause you harm?
Well, it's meant to cause harm, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think it's moral to cause harm to innocent beings for an unnecessary reason?
I think that anybody who's doing that job in there has a responsibility if they're going to kill an animal. I think they have to do it efficiently with as least harm to the animal's feelings, if you like. Would
Bro,
you agree with that?
taking their life against their will, do you think that's moral? When you don't need to, you know you don't need meat to...
question, isn't it?
Well, you don't need to eat meat to survive, do you?
Well, once again, it's a choice, isn't it? If people choose to eat it,
Doesn't make it moral just because you can do something.
it doesn't make it moral to try to outlaw it, does it?
Why?
Because if
Well, you could say the same thing about outlawing any
Exactly,
immoral act.
exactly.
Oh, it's not moral to outlaw murder and rape and
that's basically
kicking dogs.
basically what you're saying, isn't it?
Do you think animal cruelty is immoral?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So do you think it's cruel to take the life of an animal against their will?
Oh, that's it. No.
You don't think that's cruel?
No.
Even though they don't want to die?
No.
Apply the same logic to yourself. Would it be cruel to take your life against your will?
If you could do it,
Do you think would that be immoral? I think it would. I would defend you if someone tried to attack you.
well,
I would defend you if someone tried to take your life. I'd defend you because you're a sentient being. You don't deserve that.
Attacks terrorists in Syria.
Terrorists aren't innocent. Pigs are innocent.
How do you know?
They have done nothing wrong to you,
If you go 30
brother.
metres, hang on,
Pigs
just a
have done
second.
nothing wrong to you,
Just a second. If you go 30 metres down there and jump over the fence, you'll be bitten.
bro.
Because there's a pig that's been living there for 10 years, right? If he
Barney,
bites you,
you talking about Barney?
Yeah,
Barney
absolutely.
don't bite no one, mate.
have you not seen him bite?
He might nibble you on the finger, bro. All right, so in here we've got Barney the pig, and the guy I was debating with before said if you jump the fence, Barney could bite you and possibly kill you. So let's go see how dangerous Barney really is. Vegan food. Vegan food. Look at that little face. You're not gonna hurt me, are you, mate? Oh, so gentle. So much for Barney being dangerous. That's what I mean. These animals, they don't hurt anyone. Hello, Barney.
No,
You're causing
I've
more
seen
harm
it.
to pigs.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
we
causing
kill.
more harm.
Yeah, you are, but
How am I doing it?
you're paying for their death.
Oh, really?
You're paying for their murder.
No, you're a consumer. You're part of a system.
It's called supply and demand. Without your money, these places don't exist, bro.
Exactly. And then, who would provide meat for the people that want it?
I can make you plant-based meat out of proteins from rice and beans and legumes.
So you're telling me
No.
I'm going to eat vegetables? No, you can't really do that.
Have you ever seen a vegan burger, bro?
I have, yeah.
They're delicious.
No, not for me.
Well, you've eaten one in your life. I've eaten about 30. Okay, you can get bad ones and good ones.
I applaud your freedom to do that.
Brother, there's
Yeah.
pizza, pasta, rice, ice cream. We've got everything vegan now. There's no reason to do this to animals. And you agree you care about animals. There's no difference between these animals in here and the pets that you own.
I agree with hunters. I agree with people that want to eat meat.
Do you agree with someone kicking a dog to death for no reason?
I think the last part of your question qualified it for no reason.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's an unnecessary reason why we're killing pigs.
People
You
find
agree with that?
themselves a reason.
Can you be healthy as a vegan?
I'm not a vegan. I'm not qualified to give you an answer on that.
Can you be
I've read-
healthy?
I've read research either
Okay,
way.
if you found research that said you can be healthy and thrive as a vegan, would you agree that this is even more unnecessary?
No, because then it comes on to choice where you're trying to force a society.
Personal
No.
choice with a victim involved.
Personal choice for the victim, yes.
There's a victim involved. Okay, so the victim doesn't matter in your choice?
It factors in it. If it was somewhere like Malaysia where I've been,
Hey, no.
I wouldn't buy the chicken.
UK, right here. Right here, UK.
No, I don't have a problem with that, to be fair.
You don't have a problem with an innocent being having their life taken for an unnecessary reason when you have alternatives.
No, well, it's unnecessary to you, but it's not unnecessary to people.
How is it necessary for you? Like,
I'm not saying it's
is
necessary.
it vital for your survival?
It's necessary if somebody wants to buy it, that they can.
No, I'm talking about you. Is it necessary for you to eat animals?
If I want to eat a pig, which I very rarely do, to be fair, I'm not keen on pork, but if I wanted to eat it, I would have a right to buy it here. And
You
that's
have
what-
just because you have a right to do something doesn't make it moral. Okay? You had a right.
Well,
you had a right
that's-
to own. You had a right to own a human
opinion.
slave 200 years ago. You had a right to own a human slave 200 years ago. Yeah, that was your right, legal right.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make it moral? Just because you have a right to do that?
Are we talking of the times, or are we talking over?
No,
it's
I'm just applying
times,
your logic.
Morality changes.
No, it doesn't. Morality.
Morality does change.
Okay, so murder has always been murder. Yeah. Has that changed over
If you
time?
go back to the Middle Ages, murder wasn't murder, was it?
It wasn't.
No.
Okay, so
There was no crime or murder.
okay, but was it still immoral? Just because it was legal? We're
Who's
talking
doing
about.
it for what reason?
You're talking about legality and morality. Not what's legal. Just because it's legal doesn't make it moral.
Yeah, but it makes it defensible.
So what? It's not. It doesn't make it moral. That's what we're talking about. Morality. Whether innocent beings like this are moral, have moral value.
They have moral value. I still can't get over that definition. Moral value.
You agree that animals suffer and feel pain, yeah?
Of course they do. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So they have moral value.
Where's the value attached? I don't see it.
Well, they are sentient, just like you are.
Yes.
Where's the value in you?
Where's the value in me?
Where's the value in you?
I don't attach a value to myself.
You don't?
No.
So that you don't have moral value. So we shouldn't treat you with respect.
I practice.
Do you agree we should treat other beings with respect?
You can try and treat me with disrespect. That'd be fine.
I'm not. Well, I don't. I respect all beings. Okay, including you. Okay, I have respect for all beings. Okay.
But once again, you've made a moral choice. It's great for you.
Yeah, and you do too. I believe you're a good person. I do, because you care about.
You may get that wrong.
No, I do. Whatever you say, I believe you're a good person because you care about animals. You just said it.
Yeah.
Okay, but your actions don't reflect that. Okay.
Well, that's the thing, you see. If you're saying that civilized life, they have to take it to a point where they value animals, they value this. You're in danger of there are too many people in the world that aren't going to be fed. You can't do that.
Brother,
yeah.
We've just established we could feed the world.
Well,
we could feed 10 billion people with the food that we have right now. We're feeding it to animals.
And unless you can say to me, right, if you read this research, this tells us we can feed everybody now, at this moment. If we had to, we could start doing it. You can't. The infrastructure isn't in place.
50% of the grain in the US. US is one of the biggest countries. The 300 million people there. 50% of their grain.
So genetically modified food is acceptable as well.
50% of their grain has been fed to animals in animal agriculture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food. There's a lot of plant agriculture going on. We are fine without eating animals.
You can't see it. Because there's so many countries heavily populated that don't have that infrastructure.
You haven't even done the research yourself, so how can you not see something you haven't even looked into, bro?
Well, I can see what is. I mean,
is that true? Is that true? What I just said? You haven't looked into it.
I have a degree in it, so.
But you haven't looked into vegan lifestyle. What? You don't even know how much grain we're feeding to animals.
Well, I know that we feed other things as well as grain to animals.
Yeah, they're grass fed, and then they're grain fed at the last few weeks to fatten them up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change the fact that you agree that animals. Well, you care about animals. You say that. You say that.
You say that I say it. I purposely won't go out and kick an animal, but I might go and eat another one. So I'm not applying the same morals in your case.
Yeah. So by you eating animals, you're hurting them. Okay.
No, they're already dead. They're not being hurt while they're being.
Yeah, but they're only dead because you want to buy them, eat their bodies.
They're dead because somebody sees a value in them in another way. Maybe not a moral value. They want to sell the animal.
They want to commodify an animal body.
Exactly right.
So commodifying sentient beings is okay in your eyes.
Well, somebody has to do it, don't they?
So making money off the suffering and death of innocent beings is okay in your eyes.
Are they suffering?
You think they're not suffering in there?
No.
Do you think they're not suffering when they're getting their blood drained from their? I've seen animals being slaughtered. Okay.
Are they actually?
Have you been
conscious?
in there?
Yeah.
You've seen them get stabbed in their throat? You didn't even know whether they got. For starters, you didn't even know that animals got stabbed in their throat.
I know they have to release the blood. I know they have to do that. That's not an
all
issue.
Animals get stabbed in the throat. Every single animal. No animal doesn't get stabbed in the throat.
What my question was is, are these animals feeling that at that time?
Well, does that change the fact that they're getting stabbed in the throat? If I stabbed you in the throat, I don't want to be offensive to you, but if someone if someone stabbed you in the throat, whether you felt it or not, that has caused you harm.
Well, there's got to be.
Do you understand? Pain is not pain and suffering.
Thresholds. If that animal's been stunned, I wouldn't say it was sentient at that point, would you?
It was sentient up to the point of being knocked unconscious.
But would you sooner than cut its throat?
Would your defence apply in any other context? Like, oh, she wasn't sentient after I stunned her, Your Honour. So the crime is just devoid.
Oh, now we're going into the legality of it.
No.
What I'm saying is,
it's indefensible.
If you're going to kill an animal, it's going to die.
Okay.
Yeah, right. We're going to kill it one way.
First of all, why are you killing it?
Why are they going to eat it, aren't they?
Okay, but it's unnecessary. We've established that. You don't need to eat animals to survive.
You can go back to that standpoint each time. What I was trying to establish was, if that animal is going to be killed, what's the most efficient way of doing it, causing least harm to the animal? I would say that's what they're practicing.
That's not the only choice we have, though, bro. We don't just have, what's the least amount of harm we can cause to an animal.
It's not really a choice.
We don't have to do this.
It's not really a choice.
We've got another choice.
Telling us we can't do it.
Bro, I'm saying that we've got another choice. Leave the animals alone. Eat plants.
I don't think it's even.
You don't think it's possible?
I think it's viable.
We are living proof. This is one of the fastest growing movements on earth. We are living proof you can do this.
You're living proof in very small numbers.
No, we're not. There's millions of us now, brother.
No, right.
There's vegan options everywhere.
In Africa?
In Africa?
Yeah.
In Africa. I don't know any vegans in Africa, but in the Western country where we have the freedom of information, where this is spreading and people are waking up and they can see what's going on inside of these places, people don't want to contribute to it, bro. People do not want to contribute to unnecessary suffering and death of animals.
I would say it's more like they would sooner see a packet of meat in a freezer rather than knowing the reality.
Bro.
And that's where society itself goes wrong, they move away from the reality.
Exactly.
Animals.
If they seen what was going on in here, they wouldn't want to consume it. Like, do you have a family? You have a wife and
They're very squeamish.
do you have a wife and children and stuff like that? If they seen what happened in here, they wouldn't want to eat it, okay? Because you yourself know that most human beings, compassionate, logical, rational human beings, care for animals. They don't want to see animals get stabbed to death, okay? Children.
I think the reality of it, yeah. I think the
Yeah,
reality of it.
does that tell you something that we shouldn't be doing it?
Well,
If your children can't see what happens in here without being sick and being scared,
Yeah.
that gives us an indication that we shouldn't be doing this to them. Think about it, brother.
I know what you're saying. I see
Yeah.
exactly where you're coming from. But once again, it's a choice.
So is raping a woman.
Well, I've never raped a pig.
All pigs get raped.
All pigs get raped.
They do.
Yeah.
They get artificially inseminated, forcibly impregnated, and their piglets gets taken away from them. Okay.
Yeah.
You know about all that?
I know about artificial
Okay.
insemination.
That's why there's 70 billion land animals on Earth right now, because we're artificially, forcibly impregnating them.
Yeah. To
Okay.
feed
Okay.
people, otherwise wouldn't
Okay.
get that protein.
So, I'm going to have to end this with you, bro. But it's been an interesting debate with you, bro. But you say you care about animals.
Yeah, sure.
Your actions aren't consistent with that. Okay?
Well, I won't be judged by somebody else.
I'm not judging you.
Yeah. Well,
4 years ago, I was eating animals probably more than you were. Okay? Okay, I've just woken up and decided that it's unnecessary to cause harm to them. They've done nothing wrong to us. They're 6 months old. They're 6 months old when they're getting stabbed in the throat. Okay, they're like puppy dogs. Okay? They're innocent. They've done nothing wrong to us.
Well, all animals are innocent, aren't they?
Exactly. Exactly. So we're doing this to innocent beings. Okay? Innocent beings. They've done nothing wrong to you.
I don't think they're being killed for having done something wrong. I think they're being killed
For our greed?
No, people don't.
For
because
taste pleasure? Because you like the taste of animals?
Protein, basically.
For protein, we can get protein from plants, and you know that. Come on, mate,
understand
you've done research.
I understand that. Now,
Protein,
I
all
also
protein
know
comes
that
from plants.
All protein
Originally comes from
originate
plants.
with plants because animals that eat it turn it into what they.
Exactly.
need
That's,
to use.
you're filtering your nutrients through an animal
That's right.
that suffered and died. Okay? Even if they didn't suffer, they got caused harm.
They've been killed.
They've been murdered.
Well,
killing
murder
against-
is a legal term.
Okay?
Yeah, they've been killed.
Killed against their will.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And it's unnecessary. You don't have to do it.
Well, then again, to convince me, you'd have to show me some real serious research on that.
Happy to do that, mate.
On 2 points.
I'll give you a card.
Give me the card.
Okay, this is some stuff on nutrition facts here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is What the Health. These are good films. They've got all your science, all the research linked in
All
there
the
for you.
references there, yeah.
Here, this is Cowspiracy. All your references are on there. So everything you need to know about the environment,
Yep.
about water use, about how much food we're feeding these animals, about how unsustainable it actually is.
It's not the water used for various vegetables. The same.
Well, I'll let you do your own research on that,
Okay,
mate. Okay,
sure.
you can find out for yourself. On the back, if you want to do a little challenge, there's a vegan challenge on the back. Follow my link and give it a go. I don't think you're going to die of protein deficiency for showing compassion to animals.
Right, thanks for giving me your opinion.
Thanks, brother. Take care. Wow.